Hi, my name is Herb Greenberg. Over the past 40 years, I've investigated some of the most audacious financial stories for some of the world's top media outlets. My work has helped send a CEO and CFO to jail, bring down fraudulent companies, and prompt SEC investigations. I'll tell you more about all of that in just a moment, but first, let me share an urgent message with you, one that all Americans desperately need to hear. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, and some of this may be hard for some of you to hear. In fact, it's highly likely some of this may even be completely new, some of it even downright shocking. Yet, it affects every single American citizen and even many of those living abroad. This is something I've been digging into since I joined Empire Financial Research in 2021. And what is it I found? Well, let's just say there's no question about it. America is in trouble. You might think you know this, and you're probably aware of some of the reasons why, but multiple forces are now clashing and impacting your finances in ways most of us could never imagine, creating a situation that could be absolutely disastrous for people who ignore this warning. I'm talking about financial hardship that could last for the foreseeable future. Now, this probably sounds pretty scary because, well, it is. The good news, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Plenty of investors have already realized what's going on and are tapping into a unique situation that could save them from financial trouble and potentially earn them huge paydays down the road. I'll explain exactly what they're doing to save themselves in just a moment. But before I get ahead of myself, let me show you what I found and why it affects you, whether you think it does or not. The National Bureau of Economic Research is responsible for officially declaring recessions. As of right now, there's been no official declaration. But as Bloomberg reports, for many of the households and businesses who make up the world economy, the downturn is already here. One of the primary causes of this, of course, is the war in Russia and Ukraine, because these countries are major suppliers of oil, gas, metals, wheat, and corn. Prices of those commodities, they've risen an enormous amount. They've risen so much. They've just gone straight up. And while some of these prices have already started to fall, I'm sure you've already felt the impact. Food prices are up double digits, the biggest jump in 4 decades. Gas recently hit an average of $5 per gallon. That's the highest we've seen in American history. And that price, by the way, is cheap if you live where I do right here in Southern California. Energy costs overall have skyrocketed, making everybody wonder what's going to happen this winter. Overall, at its peak, this was the largest commodity shock since the 1970s. You know this if you've been to a gas station or the grocery store, or if you've just done some simple takeout for dinner. It's horrific. We're dealing with the highest inflation rate we've seen in 40 years. It's everything from housing to food to transportation. And this doesn't even include things like new car prices, airline fares, and medical care. And if that's not enough, even if wages are rising in real terms after the impact of inflation, take-home pay is actually falling. People are making more just to stay alive. And if they're making more dollar-wise, they're really making less. If this continues, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand the type of destruction this could cause over the next few years, which market experts and the media has all of them just sounding the sirens. The IMF Economic Council went on the record saying this outlook has darkened significantly. CNBC reports that it's disposable income, and Bloomberg states that money is disappearing fast. And while you've probably already experienced much of this, I'm willing to bet there are a couple of things about this current crisis that you do not know. One, there's a situation unfolding that could have a very real and perhaps devastating impact on ordinary people everywhere. Two, there's a way to beat this with a unique savings account that can generate double-digit returns over the next few years, maybe in some cases as much as 50%. Not only could this help you avoid a financial wipeout if the global crisis worsens, but it could also help you grow to be quite wealthy once things begin to turn around. Now, first, I'll give you the bad, or should I say, even worse news. It's something I call the final reckoning. Right now, there are 332 million people living in the United States. Almost 1 in 5 of them are over the age of 65. I'm among them. Over the next several years, those numbers will only increase. And the fastest growing segment is the number of people over 85. Now, what does this mean? It's simple. In simple terms, it means this could be the last financial crisis millions of Americans, me included, will ever see. That might seem like good news, but consider right now, almost 2/3 of the US population lives paycheck to paycheck, and people are experiencing record levels of debt. Baby boomers in particular haven't saved enough. In fact, nearly half of everybody who should have put away some money hasn't put away anything for retirement. Overall, the median retirement account for folks over the age of 60 is only $172,000. That means if you live until 85, that'll work out to be just around $7,000 per year. Not nearly enough to live off of comfortably, even with that bonus of Social Security, assuming you consider it a bonus. And many folks will live far longer than they expect, which I fear they're unprepared for. It's become clear to me that this is possibly the greatest financial problem facing Americans right now. It scares the living daylights out of me. As economist Monique Morrissey of the Economic Policy Institute says, unless something changes, we're going to start seeing much more hardship. So people aren't saving enough, their wages are being squeezed, and their daily expenses are soaring as inflation continues to run rampant. And this doesn't even include the fact that the stock market has had its worst first half of the year since 1970. The S&P 500 fell 21% to start the year before its recent recovery, which, as you know, is dubious at best. The small cap Russell 2000 fell 17%. And that tech-heavy NASDAQ was down a colossal 24%. So folks are also watching their hard-earned savings bleed away as things continue to go from bad to worse. My question to you is this: will you be ready? If all hell breaks loose, will you be on the right or on the wrong side of things? Millions of Americans could be left with very little if they don't change what they're doing. For many, well, it'll be their final reckoning. It might even be yours. This is why I'm sharing this with you today, because many Americans have already taken matters into their own hands. They're tired of seeing every dollar get squeezed. That's where this savings account idea comes in, the one with the potential to pay up to 50% on your money. Now, if you haven't already figured and you haven't already guessed, this isn't really a savings account like we talk about when we talk about savings accounts. It's not one where you just walk into a bank to set it up and you don't have to enroll in anything. You don't even have to sign any agreements. Instead, this is an investment you can take advantage of right through your existing brokerage account. I'll give you a step-by-step breakdown in just a moment. But first, let me explain exactly why this opportunity could help save you from being on the wrong side of this financial crisis. Or put another way, you can miss a huge opportunity here, one that could possibly help build your wealth over the next decade so you can get closer to your retirement goals. Or if you're already retired, take a less risky way to get a higher return over time. First, let me properly introduce myself. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Herb Greenberg. I've been involved in the world of finance for more than 4 decades. I won't run through my entire history, but you may recognize me from the years I spent as a stock commentator and as a contributor for CNBC. I've also written for the Wall Street Journal, Fortune, MarketWatch, TheStreet.com, the St. Paul Pioneer Press, and the Chicago Tribune. I also spent a decade at the San Francisco Chronicle, where I mailed my daily columns every week directly to Warren Buffett. Here's what my former colleague Jim Cramer once said all too kindly about me. Herb Greenberg is the finest business journalist in America. He identifies risk better than anyone, including all the analysts. Now, I mentioned earlier that my investigations have helped send executives to prison. So let me explain. During my time at the Chronicle, I launched an investigation into a company called MediaVision. It was a maker of sound cards and multimedia kits for CDs in the early days of the internet and all of this. After my inquiries and subsequent reporting, company executives were charged with cooking the books. The fastest growing company in the Bay Area in 1993, MediaVision wound up filing for bankruptcy and pretty much just disappeared. The former CEO and the former CFO both went to prison. I also investigated a software company called Arimisoft, which the SEC then sued for fraud. The CEO later relinquished around $200 million in unlawful profits, one of the largest recoveries the SEC has obtained from any individual. Then there was this other company. It was called ACLN. It was a Belgian company. Now, it was sued by the SEC, and it was ultimately delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. The firm just quickly, boom, disappeared after paying $28 million back to investors. I also exposed questions about MBIA, that's the big bond insurer. The SEC, the New York Attorney General, and the New York State Insurance Department all got involved. The company settled the case by paying around $75 million. But the stories I've investigated have had a greater impact than just exposing fraudulent companies. As one Wall Street veteran wrote, the stories he's exposed have helped many people make vast sums of money. Now today, that's just what I want to do, except do it for you. And this time, the story isn't about just one company or one executive. This is about the state of America itself and what you should start thinking about right now. I don't want this to be your final reckoning or anybody else's, including my own. Right now, chances are you don't know who to trust and who to believe. The reality is, even the world's top experts don't really know what's going to happen next. Nobody does. That's the reality of the situation. Even economic researchers can't agree on what's really going on, whether we're in a recession or we're not in a recession. And candidly, I don't think anybody will really know until after the fact. The thing is, many people don't have that kind of time. They're worried about losing money. They don't know what to invest in, and they're scared they won't be able to retire the way they really want to. As always, some people will nail the market, while others will get it terribly wrong. But guess what? If you know where to look, there's a way to possibly save yourself if we go from bad to worse right now. Even better, you'll have a chance to actually make solid returns as everything unfolds. Let me show you what I mean. If you think outside of the box, the way really clever people do, there's a way to think of investing as another form of savings. Think about it. It's really just another place to stash your cash, except that you're putting it at varying degrees of risks in hopes of getting a fatter return. Makes sense, right? So in this case, we view it as an account that patient investors can use to generate returns that ultimately will earn upwards of, say, 50%, even after the worst half for the stock market in 50 years. Now, I don't know where you stash your cash, but I'm willing to bet you're not earning anywhere near 50% returns, especially right now. Take a look at these national averages. Traditional savings accounts pay just 0.13% right now. One-year CDs pay a little over 0.5%. Interest rate checking accounts pay, well, almost zero. And money market accounts, pretty much the same. Back when rates were at their lowest, it was pathetic. Now, even as they're rising, well, it's absurd. You're not just earning next to nothing on your savings. After factoring in inflation, you are losing money. Yet, with the kind of account we are talking about, you could earn far more money. That's 384 times better than a traditional savings account, 81 times better than a one-year CD, 1,666 times better than an interest rate checking account, 550 times better than a money market account. And remember, with these conventional methods, you'll earn virtually nothing over an entire year, while you could be banking far bigger returns with the unique account I'm telling you about today. Now, this account has always been available to you. You just probably didn't know it existed, and you won't read a single story on it in the mainstream media. Yet, the impact on your finances could be huge. Check this out. In 2008, we experienced one of the worst financial disasters in American history. According to the Department of Labor, nearly 9 million people lost their jobs, the worst figure we've seen since the Great Depression. This led to a loss of more than $2 trillion from the global economy. Now, maybe you know firsthand what it was like to lose money during that time. Many lost thousands, even millions, out of their 401k plans. Portfolios were all in the red all over America. Yet, if you'd known about this unique savings account, you could have come out clean on the other side. Here's how. During the Great Recession, back in 2008, the market fell by an astounding 49% over 16 months. In other words, a lot of people lost a lot of money. Maybe you were among them, but as bad as things were, there was a light at the end of the tunnel, just like there is today. See, those who were proactive instead of sitting on their hands could have tapped into the account I'm revealing today and set themselves up for some incredible returns. If you tapped into this account during one of the worst times to invest in history, you could have set yourself up for 796% gains. In other words, the decisions you make during a financial crisis could drastically affect what your money looks like once things turn around. For you, this account could have made the difference between losing money over the long term and earning nearly 8 times your money. Of course, you might wonder, why shouldn't you just invest in the S&P 500 as a whole instead of this account? Well, get this. Over the very period I'm talking about, this account outperformed the S&P 500 by 67 percentage points. So if you had bet on the market, you would have made far less than you could have made with this account. This wasn't a one-time thing either. Go back to the dot-com crash of 2000. In the late 1990s, investors made a ton of money on tech stocks. But as we all know, it was an unsustainable bubble. And then the tech-heavy NASDAQ dropped off a cliff, falling by as much as 78%. Companies went bankrupt and investors, they just lost millions of dollars. But not this unique account, the one I'm telling you about today. If you had invested in this account during the dot-com freefall, you'd have actually made 121% returns once the market turned around. And again, these gains absolutely trounce the S&P 500. In fact, you could have made more than double the S&P 500 by investing in this account rather than the broader market. Consider this. You could have been one of those investors that lost thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars during those two crashes. Or you could have sat back and relaxed and let this account work its magic as the markets took a turn for the better. The very same opportunity is in front of you today, right this second. But get this. I call this the 50% account as a conservative measure. That's how much I believe you'll make if you get into this account today. But that's also the minimum I think you could make as the market turns around. The gains could be much higher, as we saw in the years after the 2008 crash, when the participants in this account had the opportunity to pocket 5 times their money. So you can make as much as 200%, 300%, even 500% gains if we see anything like what we did in the last 2 major market crashes. It might be hard to imagine right now, as it seems like a terrible time to invest in anything. But what if you'd taken part in this account during the last 2 crashes? You'd have had the chance to make some very solid returns, as much as 5 times your money. So what exactly is this account and how does it work? Let me explain. I've already mentioned that this account is unique. In fact, it's not even a true account in the sense that you're used to. So you won't need to sign up for anything at a bank or credit union. There's no paperwork you have to fill out, and you don't have to provide your social security card or birth certificate, anything like that. Instead, this account is a way to take advantage of the stock market. So you can actually tap into it through your online or in-person broker. Right now, in fact, millions of dollars are flowing into this account as Americans, even many living abroad, are looking for clever ways to protect themselves. And you can do the same thing they're doing. Now, let me be clear. This isn't an all-in situation. I am not suggesting you put your life savings into this account. Far from it, in fact. But what I'm suggesting is that you put a small portion of your portfolio into this account so you'll have the chance to reap the benefits. I'm talking maybe just 5%, 10% of your holdings, that's it. Or if you simply want to test the waters, you can start with as little as, say, $1,000. It's really up to you how much or how little you want to put in. And as you've seen, this account has performed extremely well during the worst of times and absolutely crushed the market during the best of times. In just a few minutes, you could be set up with this account and you'll have the chance to save your portfolio during the current downturn in the market. In fact, I've just published a brand new report which explains every aspect of this account in detail. It's called the 50% Account: How to Tap into Wall Street's Best Kept Secret. Inside, you'll learn exactly how to get started using this account today, right through your standard brokerage account. Exactly what this account is comprised of and why you should invest while some of these stocks are still down. Exactly how you could protect yourself today and set yourself up for huge paydays in the future. Remember, this is why I joined Empire Financial Research in the first place, to uncover profitable ideas like this and share them with you. Look, I really loved being a journalist. Most of my time was spent writing about companies and specific stocks. Early on, I spent much of my time talking to fund managers and spotlighting stocks that would go higher. As I got deeper into my career, I switched my focus to frauds, fads, and failures, and spending most of my time focusing on stocks that would go down. As much as I really like doing that, after a while, it kind of takes a toll on you. So I wanted to finish things up by focusing on the positive side, which is how I wound up at Empire. Empire offered me a chance to take my 48 years of experience reporting on and investigating public companies and combine that with a team of really world-class investors. In other words, my job is now to expose not only the biggest financial stories in the world, but also to show you exactly how to profit from them. And that was incredibly appealing to me and cathartic too. See, I'm 70 years old. I know exactly what it's like to age and try to figure out how much money I'll have and need for the rest of my life, which I hope is a long one, and to make sure my family is well taken care of. That's why I'm so excited to bring you today's opportunity. It gives you a way to keep your risk low while still having the chance to make some serious money in the coming months and years. In other words, I want the ultimate way to build money now and for the future by leveraging information ordinary investors either would never think of or could never access on their own. And that's why together with my team of Wall Street professionals, former hedge fund managers, and proven moneymakers, I'm excited to announce the launch of Empire Real Wealth. Each month, I'll pass along the latest information I've dug up regarding the stock market, how you can profit from it, and how to use it to build substantial wealth over the long run. Again, everything you need to know about today's opportunity is in my newest report, The 50% Account, How to Tap into Wall Street's Best Kept Secret. Then, going forward each month, I'll share a new recommendation with you, one that's backed by my team's in-depth analysis, including how each opportunity fits into our view of the overall market. These are some of the best companies in the world, companies that generate enormous cash flow, have solid balance sheets, and best of all, have a proven history of making money for their investors. Some of these companies you very well might have heard of. Others, I can all but guarantee you've never considered. And of course, when it's time to sell, we'll alert you on when to close your position to lock in the biggest potential profits. In other words, I want to give you access to the same caliber of research I've spent my career doing for the media and Wall Street so that you can get ahead of the crowd and into some of the best investments on the planet. Now, in just a moment, I'll answer some of the questions you'll likely have. You'll learn about a bonus I'd like to send you completely free, as well as a $99 premium resource, also free, that will help you survive and dominate the current bear market we're living in. But first, I want to make something completely clear. I don't normally release my research to the public like this. When I stopped being a journalist, I co-founded 2 research firms that charged tens of thousands of dollars to an elite group of hedge fund subscribers. And we charge $5,000 to access another newsletter at Empire launched earlier this year. Today, I'm opening the doors to a powerful new way for you to access everything I've talked about here, including this unique savings account that I've told you about. This includes a full model portfolio complete with the stocks I believe could help set you up for life. Each month, along with the skills of my dedicated team here at Empire and my decades of experience, I'll share a stock idea with the potential to generate better returns than you've seen over the past several years. And today, I'm inviting you to become a charter member of my brand new product through a special offer I urge you to take advantage of. Hedge funds used to pay my firms tens of thousands of dollars for this type of research. Hedge funds themselves charge an arm and a leg in fees, and typically you have to have $1 million just to invest in one, and well, there's no guarantee you'll make a dime. So I know I could charge a huge sum of money for my brand new research service, Empire Real Wealth. But again, I know what it's like to worry about retirement. I understand what it's like to be concerned about whether you'll have enough money, how long your savings will last, and how to add to that balance without losing anything. So I'm not going to charge thousands for Empire Real Wealth. I'm not even going to charge hundreds for it. In fact, I think you'll be shocked at how low of a price I'm actually giving this research away for. Here's the deal. 1 full year of Empire Real Wealth costs $199. That's for a full year with all the bells and whistles I'm about to show you. But because tonight is the first time I'm releasing this advisory to the public, along with all the research on the account that could help save you during this economic crisis, and because you'll be a charter member among the very first to receive every single benefit of Empire Real Wealth today, I'm going to make you a special charter offer. I think you'll find this offer is more than worth it. As one of my former bosses once wrote, Herb, you are always the best of the best. They don't make them like you. And it's because you always led with your heart. So proud to have worked with you and known you for so many years. And get this, we haven't even gotten to the best parts of this offer yet. When you join Empire Real Wealth today, you'll also receive 3 incredibly valuable bonuses, beginning with one particular bonus that could help you make even more money with your subscription and change the way you look for stocks forever. The minute you agree to join Empire Real Wealth today, I will also send you another new report I just put together. 5 pitfall stocks to avoid at all costs. Remember, I used to find the cracks in companies for a living. If anyone is suited to tell you which companies to avoid, I think it's me. This is exactly what I did for decades. And now I've put together a comprehensive resource for you on 5 specific companies you should avoid at all costs. Now, these companies, they're kind of like ticking time bombs. Even though they may look like bargains today, they could still blow up your portfolio at any time. So if you own any of them, I'd suggest selling as quickly as possible. This report is not for sale on the retail market, but I'm including it as part of a charter membership for you when you join Empire Real Wealth today. This resource alone could save you thousands, perhaps even tens of thousands of dollars. Because look, it's important to learn different ways to make money. It's just as important to understand how not to lose money as it is how to make money. And this brings me to the second bonus I'd like to share with you today as part of this charter membership offer to Empire Real Wealth. The state of today's market has caused investors to panic, and no one seems to know how to react. Do you sit still and wait for the recovery? Do you sell? Do you buy more? This is a deep topic, one that would take far too long to explain right here. But there are some simple answers to these very complex questions. And I answer everything in a new resource I put together just for readers of Empire Real Wealth. It's called How to Survive a Bear Market. And it's just what it sounds like. It should give you every answer to the questions you probably have right now. People would happily pay a lot of money for that information that I reveal in this briefing. Today, however, this report is absolutely free to you. No charge whatsoever. But this isn't even everything you'll get. So let me lay out everything clearly for you so you understand exactly what you'll have access to the second you become a charter member of Empire Real Wealth. My brand new report, the 50% account, how to tap into Wall Street's best kept secret. Bonus report number 1, 5 pitfall stocks to avoid at all costs. Bonus report number 2, how to survive a bear market. 24/7 access to Empire Real Wealth. You will receive password-protected access to everything I include on my website. This includes the model portfolio, special reports, updates, recommendations, and any videos I might decide to film. 12 monthly recommendations. Each month, I will send you a new opportunity. It might be a single stock I think is poised for huge growth, or it might be a bigger story like the account I'm sharing with you today. Flash updates. If anything happens in the markets that I feel needs your immediate attention, I will contact you immediately. You'll never be left wondering what to do. I will give you clear, concise instructions on what I believe is the best. And you will always be up to date on the latest market updates. Elite research. For nearly 50 years, I exposed the underbelly of corporate America. Now, I'm bringing this expertise directly to you. You no longer have to pay tens of thousands of dollars for my research or wait for me to report it somewhere in the media. It will be delivered directly to your inbox, and it will be the same high-quality information I've been producing for almost a half a decade. Like you, I don't want to lose any money. In fact, I've felt that way pretty much all my life. Some folks have the stomach for risk and putting money on the line. I don't. It's why I'm a big believer in Warren Buffett's 2 rules of investing. If you haven't seen them, Buffett's first rule is never lose money. His second rule is never forget rule number 1. So when I joined Empire Financial Research, I insisted that as part of this new product, we would create an entire portfolio specifically designed for someone like me who's close to retiring or currently retired, who wants to own the world's greatest businesses and not have to worry every day or every minute or every vacation about how their portfolio is doing. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I haven't even told you what it will cost to join Empire Real Wealth today. If you get in right now, we're going to knock off 75% from the price. That means you can join Empire Real Wealth right now at just $49, the best price we'll ever offer. We will never sell this research for any cheaper. This is the absolute lowest price we will ever charge. My publisher can't allow us to charge less and still stay in business. It's not cheap to conduct the type of research I do on a consistent basis. It takes considerable time to find the ideas, research them, and write them. The costs are just huge. Yet, I'm willing to give you this bargain price, this bargain basement price right now, today. I want the lowest no-brainer barrier to entry possible. And I think I've done that by offering Empire Real Wealth to you today at just $49 for a full year. But if that isn't enough to get you over the hump, consider this. Empire Real Wealth comes with a 60-day full money-back guarantee. That's right. You could sign up today, learn all about the unique account I've been pounding the table on, and then cancel. I'll give you every penny back that you spent. But I look at this as kind of a challenge. I don't think you will cancel. I really don't. I believe that when you see the type of research I produce, there's no chance you'll want your money back, especially not at the incredibly low price I'm giving you right now. So here's the deal. Sign up, give Empire Real Wealth a try. If you do not like it, no hard feelings. We'll part as friends and you'll receive every penny back that you sent me. But again, I think you'll love what you find. So take the next 60 days to read my new research report. View your free bonuses. Check out the model portfolio and try some of my recommendations. These are really good companies. There's no rush here. Even if you cancel on day 59, Empire Financial Research will refund every penny you spent. And remember, the very market environment we're in right now is the best time to take advantage of this unique account I've been telling you about. Not only could it help you survive the rest of the downturn, but it could help you significantly boost your wealth in the long run. But keep in mind, this product isn't meant for day traders. No, 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 not at all. That's not my market, as they would say. The opportunities I share with you will likely take at least a year minimum to play out. Some may be longer, maybe much longer, some maybe less. You just never know, right? This is the stock market. These are stocks and these are really good companies. They're the mirror opposite of the kind of stocks that got so many people in trouble when the market crashed. If you're looking for a fast-paced, trading-oriented advisory service, this isn't it. This is a slow and steady, wins the race type of wealth building. And you can start by tapping into today's special account. And by the way, even if the market takes some big hits going forward, people tend to forget that even during the darkest moments, there is always another big wave of money getting started. And that's because there's always another new company or big idea that comes along. If you'd completely avoided the market during the worst moments of the 20th century, look at what you would have missed. During the Great Depression, you'd have missed the birth of Disney. During the Great Recession of 1937 to 1938, you'd have missed the birth of Hewlett-Packard. During the downturn following the Korean War, you'd have missed the birth of Burger King. During the recession of 1958, you'd have missed the birth of Hyatt. During the recession of 1991 and 1992, you'd have missed the birth of Microsoft. During the dot-com bubble, you'd have missed the birth of Amazon. And this pattern continues right through the COVID crash. Bottom line, a long-term point of view is always the right way to go when you're buying into the biggest stories. And my approach is designed to find the best of these investments at prices that are compelling today. Today's account is no different. Right now is the best time possible to get in and enjoy the potential gains that you can see once you've secured your position. Look, you could continue to sit on the sidelines and miss out again. But to me, that seems incredibly short-sighted. Of course, all investment carries risk, and past performance does not indicate future success. Never invest more than you care to lose. I'm certainly not an all-out risk taker, not by any means, but I also know when a smart investment is staring me in the face. In other words, this is your chance to take control of your financial destiny and give yourself an incredible chance to make some real money. Of course, it's really completely up to you. I know some folks will jump at the chance to take advantage of this unique account, while others, well, maybe they're scared out by the crash and they'll do nothing and watch their wealth and retirement erode. But mark my words, with all of the uncertainty and fear we've seen this year, this is exactly the kind of investment you should make today. And I've made it as easy as possible for you to get in on this starting immediately. There's no excuse not to take a look at everything I've shown you today, especially since you'll have 60 days to do so. In short, I urge you to take advantage of the charter offer I just gave the details on before it goes offline. And oh, by the way, it will go offline. Also, keep in mind, this could be the best window we've seen in years to take advantage of this unique, as we like to call it, 50% savings account. Click below to join Empire Real Wealth at the lowest rate we'll ever offer.